Okay then guys, for today's literacy job, we're going to work on that skill of being able to retell a story. Now, can you remember, what does that mean? What does it mean if we retell a story? Well done, brilliant. When we retell something, it means that we have a go at explaining what's happened using our own words, okay? Now, retelling a story is a really important skill because it shows me two things. It shows me that you've listened to the story really carefully, and it also shows me that you've understood what's happened. Now, those things are going to be really useful as we get a bit further down the line and you start writing stories of your own. Now, can you remember when we did the What the Ladybird Heard story? This was our job for that, wasn't it? We had to go at retelling that story and you did brilliantly with that. So I'm hoping that you're going to be equally as brilliant when you have a go at retelling The Very Hungry Caterpillar for me. Now, today's story not only is one that we're hopefully more familiar with than What the Ladybird Heard, but it's also a much simpler story. It's got a much clearer structure to it, which will hopefully mean that you can do a really, really good job at this today. Now, if you're not sure and you think, oh, well, I think I can remember most things, but I can't remember everything, Miss Coles, then by all means, go back and watch the story again. Or if you've got a copy of the story at home, share it with your grown-up and have another read of the story and just get all of those details nice and safely in that head of yours, ready for you to have your go at retelling everything that happened. Now, when we did it for What the Ladybird Heard, you used stick puppets, didn't you? And you can use those again today. I've put some for you on the next card that you could cut out and put on a stick and use them to make a little play of everything that happens. But there are also some other ways you could go about retelling your story today. I'd like you to choose which way you would like to do it, okay? So way number one is to do your stick puppets again, and you could always add in some toys of your own from home, and you could add in some fruit, whether it's toy food and fruit or whether it's real, I don't mind, but you could use props and things to help you retell the story. And you might like to do like a few of you did last time and film it as a little play. That would be great. If you'd like to do it a bit differently though, when you click onto the next card, you'll see that I've also put you some pictures of everything that happens in the story. Now, what you could do with those is you could either make them big on the screen and use those to help you remember the different things that happen, and you concentrate on telling the story to your grown-up using your words, okay? Or you could print all of those pictures out, cut them out, put them in sequence, that means put them in the right order, and then lay them all out in a big line, and then you could go along them and use them to help tell your grown-up what happened in the story. Or you might use my story PowerPoint that I've made with the pictures from the real book, but you could turn the volume off so you're not listening to me, and you could be the storyteller instead. You could tell the story to your grown-up using the pictures from the book as they go through on the video. So many ways you could do it. Now today, I'm going to show you a new way that you could have a go at retelling your story. Now, we've not practiced this way in school before. We've done the other ways, haven't we? But this is a new way of showing how much you can remember of a story. And it's a new way of making something to help you to be able to retell it, okay? Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, we need to put the title of our story up at the top. What was today's story called? The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Well done. So I'm going to write that up at the top here. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Okay. And there. we're going to make something called, oh sorry, I just noticed how wonky my line is. You'll be able to write better on a flat piece of paper, won't you guys? We're going to make something called a story map. Now a story map is where we use pictures, and we might add a couple of simple sentences or a couple of labels to help us, but mainly it's pictures that we draw to help us remember the different things that happen. All right, let me show you what I mean. So, what was the first thing that happened in our story today? Can you remember what was on that very first page? Well done. We had a leaf, didn't we? There we go. And what was on the leaf? Can you remember? A little egg. Brilliant. And from that picture, that reminds me of everything that happened at the start of the story. So it was night time, wasn't it? And there was a little egg on the leaf. Now I don't need to add any labels or any writing to it because the picture is enough for me to remember. Then I'm going to draw an arrow, and then I'm going to draw a picture to show the next thing that happens in the story. So can you remember what comes next? Can you remember? Well done. He hatched out of his egg, didn't he? So we had a little caterpillar. Now you'll notice that I'm not putting lots and lots of detail into my pictures, okay? It's not about drawing the best picture you've ever drawn. It's just about drawing enough to help you remember the key things that happened, all right? Now, can you remember, how did the caterpillar feel when he cracked out of his egg? He was hungry, wasn't he? So I'm going to add a little label up here, and all I'm going to write is the word hungry. And that's just to remind me that that's how he felt when he first hatched out of his egg, okay? I'm not going to write anything else because I can see that it's the caterpillar from my picture, but I might forget that he felt really hungry, so I've written it there just to remind me. And then I'm going to draw another arrow, and I'm going to draw what happened on the first day. Now, what was the first day that he started eating? Can you remember? It was Monday, wasn't it? So if you don't think you'll remember that, you could write down Monday. Okay. And then what did he eat on the Monday? Can you remember? Well done. It was an apple, wasn't it? And how many did he have? Yeah, nice, guys. He just had one apple on the Monday, didn't he? One apple. And when he finished, was he still hungry? He was. But we can remember that, can't we? We don't need to write that down. What day came after Monday? Well done. Next was Tuesday. Okay. What did he eat on Tuesday? Well done. He had two. And these are my slightly funny looking pears. 2 pears. Okay. 2 pears. So can you see what I'm doing, guys? For each key thing that happened in the story, I'm writing any key words, any key details I need to remember, like the name of the day or how he felt. And then the main thing is that I'm using a picture to help me remember the detail. Okay. Now once you've filled in your top line, you just do your arrow, so it goes down here to show you where to go to next. All right, and then you'd keep going all the way until you get to the end of the story. And that is a story map. Now the idea is that once you've finished your story map, you'll be able to look at it and be able to use it to retell the story. So for example, we might say, one night there was a little white egg on a leaf. The next day, the sun was shining, and out of the little egg hatched a very hungry caterpillar. On Monday, he ate his way through 1 apple, but he was still hungry. So on Tuesday, he ate his way through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. Okay, and so on and so forth. So really, guys, you can choose today. Whichever way you would like to use to help you retell the story is completely fine by me. You choose whichever method you think is going to work best for you. And then retell your story to your grown-up in as much detail as you can. Can you remember everything that happened? Oh, I bet you can. Have lots of fun, guys. Let me know which method you choose, and I'll see you after break, ready for our maths today.